Hey, can you hear me? What's happening?
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
All
Welcome
right,
to
I
the
had to find.
show, everyone. I am your host, Ms. Key. This is my co-host. We on Live Nation, and we are going to discuss the latest version of, or the latest edition of Black Ink Crew and what happened with that. So let's go ahead and get right into it, bro. I'm not going to play any parts of it. I think that's just kind of needless right now. So let's go ahead and do that. All right.
Okay.
So I know you watched the show last night. What did you think about the show? Let's start with just overall.
Well, there were lessons to be learned, and people who not to get into business with, but more importantly, for the sake of the show, that none of us are heartless. I want to give a shout out, Charmaine and her father, who passed away on the show, but I know it was much recently than that because, like I said, the show is taped 6 months in advance.
Right.
But we we definitely want to say our condolences to Charmaine's father, passed away with cancer. um, my grandmother, who was 89, passed away at stage 4, and she had the greatest smile on her face. Uh, so, like I said, and then everybody gave their shots out. Ron, uh, Thor, Don, even Kitty, she came out of her shell and she said, "Well, I mean, we're not in the best of friends, but you know, no one should lose a loved one like that." So, but other than that, the show was kind of like I said, one of those learning curve moments,
Hmm.
and one of my favorite parts that I definitely want to get into, which I told you about. Pin me my flowers. Uh,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
one goes gonna be leaving the shop, possibly leaving the show to go elsewhere. So I'm gonna leave that up to you, sis.
Well, I thought that was quite interesting because the first thing I thought about was you when I saw that. Because, but I knew though, because I think we both agreed on that to a certain. I think we both kind of said, listen, I don't think he's going to stick around much longer. You know, with him being one of her better artists, she just needs to treat him a lot better than she is. And the fact that she's not says a lot. Okay, so here's my thing. First of all, I was a little upset with Mariah. Okay, because why did she immediately just assume that this could possibly be true? Just because this is her friend. Okay. I understand that Charmaine is her friend, but at the end of the day, like this is her man. Prince is her man. Okay. Where is the trust level where he's repeating to you what was said about him, from her friend. And instead of her being more objective and just saying, okay, I'm not going to take sides, I'm not going to, be quickly jump to a conclusion, she just immediately jumped to, well, it's got to be some truth to it. So that made me think that there's got to be some stuff going on behind the scenes with him and Mariah that everybody just doesn't see. Maybe maybe trouble is not as there's some trouble in paradise, or maybe they're not as tight as they come off on the show, because that showed a crack in the seams to me. Okay, so that was the first
Mm,
part. The second thing is, I get it, and like you said, rest in peace to Charmaine's father. I truly respect the fact that he did have cancer. My grandmother passed away from the same, so I totally get the pain of that. um
mm,
but Charmaine is an adult. Okay, there's a level of respect you have to show to your employees. And there's also a time where you have to put like I said in the last show, there comes a time where you have to put some responsibility in the hands of employees that you trust so that the business can continue. Other than that, the business is going to end up flopping, okay? Because she really has an issue with showing respect to her employees the way that she should. And she even said when she came into the office and some of the newer employees were in there, and she was like, hey, you guys seen Prince? And they were like, no. And then she was like, oh, the situation turned out kind of bad the other day. And I'm like, that all could have been avoided with her level of respect to him. You see what I'm saying? And not lying on these two employees that she had just because she felt ganged up on, or just because at that moment she was lashing out emotionally as opposed to thinking rationally. I thought that was just crazy. So I see you, Dad. We're going to be quick anyway, because there wasn't a lot that happened on the show. And I do apologize.
It's a lot to me.
Oh, hold on. I do apologize to the loungers, because yesterday we were going to go live on this. We usually do on Tuesdays, but unfortunately my co-host had something he had to do, so we weren't able to go live yesterday, but we definitely wanted to bring this to you today. So thank you for tuning in, Stefan, Darlene. Truly appreciate you guys, and everybody that catches the replay as well. Thank you guys for building Black Lounge like you do, one foundation at a time, and I truly appreciate you guys for that. Go ahead. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
This is important to me because I really wanted to discuss about Ryan and the mental health aspects of people. And if you don't, I wish I was a therapist, but if there's a problem, if you don't seek that attention, it just get the small things that are fixable end up growing and growing as time goes on. But real quick to Charmaine, as I said before, we are not condoned to being one way. Okay, we're not condoned to being, very mean people, because I'm not a mean person. But I see the writing on the wall, and I've told you, I told you before, brothers were gonna jump ship, and there's one brother is about to jump ship, but I'm not gonna spoil that episode. That episode's going to be
coming up next. Yeah.
Yes, that's coming up next week.
Yeah. So what I do think is gonna happen though, I think he's gonna get talked out of it. But I don't think he's gonna get talked out of leaving her shop. I think he might just turn around and join Nine Mag. You know what I mean? As opposed to being with her, because he can get a lot more respect over there. He's gonna get the attention that he needs. The clout. And shout out to Drea too. I appreciate you reaching out with her on Twitter, and we definitely can do that interview, if she wants to do that. But I'm just telling, listen, I really have this feeling that Prince is going to go over to Nine Mag. I think Drea is going to do that too, or I think she's going to open her own shop. Now, what's going to happen with Charmaine, I really don't know, because she just seems to be just way too much all over the place right now. I think she needs to take some time off to get her mental health together, which like you said, I think I really appreciate that much about the show, is the fact that they really highlighted mental health, Black mental health, and how Black men, it is okay to seek mental health. And women, it is okay to seek mental health counseling as well. And we tend to have, what's the word I'm looking for? We tend to have a tendency to look down upon someone who wants to seek therapy. And there could be a couple of reasons for that. Number one, we were always kind of taught as children whatever goes on at home stays in the home, and that kind of thing, even if that was good or bad. And I don't know if that's really a good thing. So that was one thing that, may have contributed to that in the Black community. Another thing is actual resources to qualified therapy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I think a lot of Black folks or a lot of people in urban areas either have Medicaid or they have, they can't afford regular health insurance. And so this gives you therapists, but are they
You love the
qualified?
therapist. You love the therapist, don't you?
Huh?
You love that.
Yes.
You love that therapist.
I
Yes.
did like the therapist. I liked her Afrocentric ways. I liked the fact
Oh,
that she was able to truly connect with Ryan, okay? And she wasn't just kind of on the surface of things and just, hey, lay down on the couch and we're going to talk about a couple things. And then you walk out of there with no actual purpose and with no, no direction. Because people coming to seek therapy, even though, yes, the answer lies within, it's still, they're looking for that direction. And I really think that this is not accessible to all of us. And I think it's important that we first understand that it is out there and that we might have to seek it, in different ways. For instance, there's teletherapy now where you can kind of be on, your phone and you're talking to your therapist that way. If you're not, interested in going into an office, particularly with C-19 happening, and stuff like that. But anyway, that's a little bit off the subject. I'm just happy that they brought that up and they allowed it to be showcased that one of ours, and a strong Black man, a good-looking Black man at that, but a strong Black man was getting therapy, and he's a leader in his organization, and
and yeah.
he chose to take that on so that he can not only continue on with his personal life, continue on with as a father, but also continue on with the business. I thought that was excellent, and I all hail to them for that. I mean, it's not that that's the first time we've seen that, but all
You
hail.
know,
Hey, couch
it
potato.
definitely. I definitely recommend you, sis. You nailed it right on the head. Uh, Ryan has been dealing with a lot. He's taken on a lot. He's taken on a role, a leadership role, and what comes with that leadership role is pros and cons. The pros and cons. You get trades, you get customers, you have your own business, you get clout, you're successful, you're charming. Anyway, I'm sorry. You're charming, you're good looking, and everything, and that comes with a lot. The con is you dealing with crew that basically don't want to do your bidding, don't do what you say, want to do whatever they want to do in your facility, in your shop, and that kind of puts its toll on you a bit. Not just adding to the problems outside the facility. I mean, your sister gets gunned down. Um, you come into the shop with a shotgun and messing up your own facility, sleeping in your own shop. I mean, again, and you're not seeking that, and you're thinking in your head, I can fix these things on my own. Nobody can fix things on their own. There has to be somebody in your life, whether it be a sister, a brother, a father figure, even a father figure, um, that can put you try to put you back in that right direction. And I'm glad he got the therapy that he got. Okay.
So.
Oh, and Charmaine, if she doesn't slow down with what she's doing and what she had to deal with the struggle shop, I would call it the struggle shop, and just dealing with her father's death, she's going to need this. She's possibly going to need the same therapy.
Yeah,
She's
I
probably
agree.
going.
I think that it's important for her to do something to seek that therapy because um, this is going on a couple of years now, between her mother and now her father, and the shop she can't afford another year of flopping. You know what I mean? She can't. I mean, everybody knows, people who are business owners know that the first couple of years of business is usually the hardest. It's usually you're going to flop a couple of times, but within a certain amount of time, you should start seeing, that revenue start building. You should start seeing certain things coming from that. You should start seeing the fruits of your labor. Okay. About 3 years or so in, you should really start seeing that. And if you're not, you really need to take a look at why. You know what I mean? Like, why am I not creating a revenue at this point? Why am I putting more money out than, and I'm not saying that every business is going to just take off in 3 years, but generally speaking, in the first 3 years or so of business, you're going to go through issues. You're going to go through problems. That's when you're feeling things out. That's when you're figuring out things. This isn't working. Okay, let me try this. And different things like that. The first exact plans that you had when you opened that business are not going to be what you're doing 5 years from now. You understand what I'm saying? So, you might be doing some things. It might be a model of it, but you done changed up a bunch of stuff by 5 years. So, and in 3 years, definitely. So if you're still doing the same thing and still getting the same results 3 years later or 2 years later, okay, honey, I need you to start figuring out what's going on here. I need you, Charmaine, to go ahead and get some employees in place that can help you, honey. I understand.
She did. She did have employees in place.
She's not allowing them to help her. So therefore, that's just irrelevant. You know what I mean? Because they're not when Kitty was, let's keep it real. Kitty, I felt like Kitty was trying to help her. I felt like she was trying to push, the brand, but she's not allowing her to do so. When, Drea was giving her. Mm-hmm.
Real quick, sis. Speaking to Kitty, I'm blanking. Speaking to Kitty, speaking to Prince and Drea, I DM'd you, I Twittered you, sweetheart.
We'll talk about that after the show. We can talk about that after the show.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But anyway, as I was just saying, I think it's just important that she just stays on the path of helping herself mentally, because that is the only way. Like Ryan, he is taking responsibility and taking that by the wings and doing what he has to do so that he can be a better person. She's got to do the same thing. I'm not saying she's got to go down the same exact path that he's on, but she's definitely got to do something similar so that she can save herself first, her family, her employees, her business, and really make something of this. Because other than that, she's going to crash and burn if she doesn't get it together. I understand. I respect the fact that her father passed away. I get that. Mm-hmm. But like I said, she's the one that has to take the responsibility to set herself aside to get her mental health together. You know what I mean?
She want to learn.
Letting other people help her, then that's what she's got to do.
She wants to learn from Ryan and learn from Don. Ryan's successful, and I'm hearing Don is successful. He's trying to get bodies. He's trying to get health right. He's trying to get bodies right. Ryan, right. He's just doing his thing. He's a franchise. He's been tattooing. He's been doing thousands and thousands of tattoos. What is Charmaine doing? I'll wait until the next episode.
That part, because we're about to actually close this down. I truly appreciate you, bro, for coming in. Thank you for being a great brother and also a better father, because you're in there with your son. I see that. So I appreciate that. We're going to go ahead and shut it down. Truly appreciate you guys for tuning in tonight. And thank you for watching the show. Until next time, I will see you guys later. And peace.